Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be learning how to create an S3 bucket on AWS. So you'll be learning how to create an S3 bucket on AWS, okay? Whether you're new to cloud computing or you're just getting started with AWS, this tutorial is perfect for beginners, okay? So by the end of this video, you will know how to create and configure an S3 bucket. So, which is an AWS object storage solution for storing, retrieving data. So, let's get started. So, first, you need to log in to your AWS account. As you can see, I'm already logged into my AWS account. How do you log into your AWS account? You just need to navigate to the AWS amazon.com. Okay, so mine is logging in because I already had an AWS account. So if you have not logged in before, okay, if you have not logged in before, you need to choose AWS and you choose sign in. So mine is signing in because I'd already logged in my account. Okay, so you choose root. So on the root, you sign in, and that's it. And if you don't have an AWS account, you will need to create a new one. Okay, I have a video which will be attached on this video. So just go to the description. You're going to see the link on how to create an AWS account. Very easy, okay? So you will just create an AWS account and you join us, right? So next, once you've logged into your AWS account, you don't have anything to worry about, right? You're signing up for an AWS free tier account. And right now, we're on a free tier account. So it allows you to use services like S3 without incurring any cost. So once you log in, now you'll be taken to this AWS management console, okay? So now, once you've been taken to this AWS management console, what do you do? The second step is to navigate to S3. So you search S3 in your AWS management search bar, okay? So now we have S3. You're going to see scalable storage in the cloud. We click on S3. It's loading. So once you have created on S3, the next thing you're going to be doing is looking for where it says create bucket. Okay. So we're going to click on create bucket. We're clicking on create bucket. That's the first step. Now, what you need to know is bucket names must be globally unique. AWS S3 bucket names must be globally unique. You can note that down, okay? So we're going to choose a name like my first bucket. My first bucket. Since we said it must be unique, this name might already have been used, okay? So this name might already been used. So I'm going to put my first bucket with some numbers, 976. So with some few numbers to make sure that this bucket name is available to be used, okay? We are choosing general purpose, and you must choose the region which is closest. You must choose the region which is closest to your location for better performance, okay? For better performance, okay? So in this case, I am using EU Node 1, which is Stockholm, okay? If let's say you're closer to Virginia, you can use US East 1, which is North Virginia. Let me show you. You can use US East 1, which is North Virginia. Okay. So once you've selected your good region, once you've selected the region which you'll be using, the next stuff you'll be doing is choosing if you want this bucket to be accessible. Okay, so you're going to choose the region that is closer to you. So next, we're going to click on create bucket. give your bucket a name, which needs to be globally unique, as we said. So we are going to block all public access, okay? We don't want this bucket to be accessible to any person, okay? So we're going to block all access to this bucket. But I'm going to show you how we can unblock them, right? I'm going to show you how we can unblock them. So we don't want our bucket to be accessible by anyone in the internet, okay? So next, we're configuring the setting, right? So it is always good to allow the optional settings, right? Like to allow the default settings for beginners. So after naming your bucket, you will see additional configurations. You can, for example, enable versioning. You're going to see where to enable versioning, right? Versioning, it means keeping version like of your bucket. Like you can always go back to maybe a previous version. You can version, you can retrieve or restore every version of objects like in your bucket. And versioning also keeps track of multiple, version also keeps track of multiple versions of an object. So for this tutorial, we will leave it to disable and stick to the default permissions, okay? So once you're ready, click create bucket and your bucket will be created, okay? So we're allowing it to disable, no need adding tags, we'll allow all the default settings, okay? So we're clicking create bucket. Okay, now it says bucket name must contain uppercase and not bucket name must not contain uppercase characters, okay? My first bucket. You click on create bucket. So if you have an error, you've put uppercase, you need to go and edit that. Maybe like you were typing, your computer did autocorrect or something. You need to edit that. Perfect. So it says successfully created bucket. So you have just created your first bucket. Now we need to deep dive and explore this bucket. So you click on this bucket. This is my first bucket. So up here, you're going to see the name of your bucket. Now we have the bucket. This is our bucket. We have properties. You're going to see that properties, which talks about bucket versioning, tags, encryption, and all that, which we will not be touching today. We have permissions. You're going to know more metrics, management, access point, okay? So let's go to objects. So we want to upload something to this, our simple storage system, which is called S3, okay? So we want to upload something in this bucket, in our newly created bucket. So let's click upload. Let's click upload. So here we have nothing in this bucket, right? So once we have clicked upload, so you can add file from your local system, okay? So you can choose a file from your computer and you click upload, and that's fine. Your file is now stored securely in S3. So let me click add file. Now I'm just going to upload the picture of this lion. So I'm going to upload that. So we have added picture. Let me add one more picture. And a picture of Kubernetes, okay? So I've added 2 more pictures. You can add your pictures, okay? So once you have done that, the next thing you need to do now is click on upload, okay? Clicking on upload. Perfect. So now we have created a bucket and we have uploaded objects to this bucket, as simple as that. So these are the objects we have in this bucket. So as you can see, we have uploaded our object, okay? We have uploaded our object to the bucket. So now, this is an optional step, okay, which is permission. So who can access this object in this bucket, which is permission? Who can access this object? So you can edit permission. You can grant permission to a group. You can grant permission just to yourself. So it says this bucket has the bucket owner enforced setting applied for object ownership. You can version your bucket. Okay, let's see if we can access this bucket on the browser. What's your answer? Nothing, okay? Fails. Because we disable public access, right? You remember when we're creating our bucket, what did we do? We disable public access, okay? So this is the image. You can always download, you can open. Can you see the image? This is the image in our bucket, right? Let's go to the other, let's check the other bucket and see what's in the other bucket. That one was photo. Let me see this second one, which is also a picture. Open. I opened the lion twice. Let me see my keyboard. Okay. I'm going to click on the first one. Click on open. You'll see the second image, which was Kubernetes interview questions. Okay. So now you have created a bucket and you have added stuffs in the bucket, right? So congratulations, you have just created an S3 bucket. So now I want to give you a little bit of bonus in here. So we can see how to make this bucket accessible, right? So I have something stopped here. Okay. Okay, so now we want to make this bucket public, right? So I'm clicking back on my bucket, want to make this bucket public. We have seen how to create our S3 bucket and add item to our bucket and access it just within AWS, okay? So we want to make this bucket public in such a way that anyone can access what is in this bucket, right? So first, you click on your bucket name, you navigate to where it says permissions. To permissions, you click on edit, where you see block public access because it was blocked here, and you uncheck this, okay? That's all, you uncheck that, and you click save changes, okay? Now it's asking you to type confirm because this is a security check, right? You click on, so now our bucket is no longer private. So the next thing you need to do is to edit your bucket policy. So I'm going to click. We have no policy here, right? So there's no policy here. There's no policy. You have to edit your policy, okay? So I'm going to be attaching this policy to you in the description. We'll click on edit. And we're going to be adding a policy, right? So this is the policy. Now, this policy, I'm going to attach it for you, okay? Here you now have to put your bucket name, okay? What's our bucket name? Where it says your bucket name, just edit it and put your bucket name, right? Mine is my first bucket 9745, okay? My first bucket 97, so that's the name of my bucket, right? And once everything look good, try to make sure everything looks good. So make sure you have replaced, don't just copy and paste, make sure you've replaced, right? And now it's going to make the bucket public. So I've added the policy to this policy that we're adding is allowing public to read access, okay? So try to, you ask yourself, what is this policy? It's going to allow public read access. Can you see that as public read object access, okay? So if you haven't uploaded, you can upload more stuff in your bucket, okay? So you can upload more stuff in your bucket. Now, let's save these changes first. Save. Perfect. So now you can upload more files to your bucket, or you can copy the file object URL from the S3 console and you paste it on your browser to check if the file is accessible, okay? So let's check objects in the bucket. And let's click on, let's say, the second picture. We're looking for the URL, right? So now it says object URL, okay? It says object URL. Let's copy. So once you've copied, let's check on the browser. Let's paste and see. Perfect. So we have the image, right? Let's go to another browser. Let's test it. So anyone can access this image right now. So here it says, do not appear to be a style or format, access denied, but we're able to access it on the other browser. It's just because this my browser is secure, okay? So here on Chrome, we're able to access it. We're able to access it. You can see this is the picture. This is the picture here. So my Microsoft, I have a lot of security which do not allow links anyhow, okay? So now you have been able to access it, okay? If you see access denied, make sure that you double check your bucket policy again, permission. Make sure that you double check if you see access denied. So now you see, make sure you double check, okay? So now that you have tested, you can now make back your bucket private. So how do you make your bucket private? Well, let's go back to my first bucket. To make your bucket private is simple. You re-enable the block all public access setting and remove the public policies. So let's come back to permissions. We click on edit. This is make your bucket private. I will click back block all public access. Save changes. You type confirm. Perfect. And now, after doing that, let's delete the policy, okay? Click delete bucket policy. We're deleting this policy. We type delete. And we delete. So now we have no policy attached to this bucket, right? So let's try to access this bucket back again. What do you get now? Access denied, okay? This was the very picture. Let me refresh. Access denied. So if you come to maybe this image, you click on object URL, well, you're going to be getting access denied. Perfect. So now you have known the advantages and disadvantages of enabling your bucket public. With public, it's easy for sharing files and data with wide audience. It's ideal for hosting static website or public data sets. So no need for additional access management for public content. And the disadvantages is it has risks for exposing sensitive data if not configured properly, vulnerable to unauthorized access and misuse, and may incur high costs due to increase in data transfer, okay? And some of the advantages of private bucket is it enhances security and control over your data. It allows for granular access, controlling user IAM roles and policies. And some of the disadvantages, it requires additional configuration for sharing files, less convenient for public-facing application or data sets, and may involve more administrative overheads. So there you have it now. We have covered how to make your S3 bucket public and how to create your S3 bucket, how to add objects in your S3 bucket. So remember, public buckets are great for sharing data, but they come with risks. So always double check your configuration. Private bucket offers more security, but require extra steps. And always choose the best option, right? So if you're happy or if you have successfully created an S3 bucket and you have uploaded your file, you have enabled maybe private or public and everything, and you found this video helpful, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more AWS tutorials, okay? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.